Being able to put a name to a face, being able to come up to something like this, knowing that there are a couple of people you've followed on a blog, perhaps heard about on the scene, and you eventually get to meet them. That's really key, I think, now for places that are championing sort of best practice in social media. In October 2005, when the Apple iPod with video was launched, so Apple basically launched out the first iPod that you could watch video on, and I heard that the first company to get a podcast onto iTunes, a video podcast that is, got 1 million downloads in 24 hours, and I thought, wow, this convergence thing that I studied about at university on an electronic engineering course has happened. People can create channels and have individuals around the world subscribe to those channels. So it was very much from a video point of view, but that was my wow moment. There's going to be a lot more activity with real live social media. And it's going back to my example that we've had lots of case studies in the States, and people aren't going to replicate that in the UK. You'll get people just trying to do what they've seen work with US campaigns in the UK. It's pretty much classic thing. Let the Americans make the mistakes and then try and get best practice from the word go and pretend that it looked like we always did this. There's always going to be a culture difference. There's always going to be, I think, fewer comments on UK blogs than the US. I found that to be the case, and it might sound like a big generalization, but I think people just are watchers a lot more than active participants in social media in the UK at large.
I was working for a company called NewsQuest in the northeast, and it was a very early stage of the website, and I did a project which involved a bloke sailing around the world, and I was so fascinated that we could actually follow him all across the ocean through even the technology we had then. And so I kind of got the bug for it then, and asked to be transferred out of print into the digital side, ran that for a year and then came here. I started with the MEN in 2001 when we were just starting with the website there, and it was very basic, sort of 5 top news stories, 5 top sports stories, and we've sort of moved it on from that to what we've got today, which was launched in 2005, and obviously is there's no resemblance to what it was in 2001 really. Well, I'm lucky in a way in that the MEN is part of the Guardian Media Group, so they're pretty sort of go ahead in a lot of areas. So it may be slightly different for me than some other journalists, because obviously I've been able to develop our blogging platforms. I've been able to push into these areas where it's not necessarily sort of corporate activity, if you like, but it's journalistic activity.
Did the rest of the journalists get it?
Not universally, but I think that'd probably be true of every organisation you went to. Some yes, some no. Journalists realise now that they're not mono-media. They are going to have to adapt and take on new skills. Video, for instance, most of our reporters now routinely take video out on jobs, whereas 10 years ago you'd have been lucky to find a reporter that would take even a camera out on a job. And it is a pretty seismic shift that's happened in the industry.